evening and welcome to KiniNews. The new administration is filled with many old faces. In fact, even Muhyiddin Yassin has a place in it. But imagine, what if we had space for one more person? I'm talking about someone even Muhyiddin could have called Bosku in the past.
With Umno back in the driver's seat in Putrajaya, former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak may be set to rise from the 1MDB scandal's ashes with a role in Ismail Sabri Yaakob's government. Multiple sources have indicated to Malaysiakini that the post of economic advisor to the Prime Minister is on the cards. This follows a meeting the two had on Tuesday. Ismail Sabri had said that Najib was committed to contributing time and energy to the Malaysian family, the Prime Minister's tagline for his administration. Sources indicated that the economic advisor portfolio may be discussed in next week's cabinet meeting. Najib has not confirmed or denied the speculation. However, in a Facebook post yesterday, the Pekan MP said he had outlined various suggestions and measures to tackle COVID-19, raise public and investor confidence in the economy and the people's well-being. He said some of these ideas have already been discussed with Ismail Sabri.
Some of the decisions made by the Prime Minister so far is making DAP's Lim Kit Siang lose some hope. But before we get into why that's happening, if you like the content we produce, do support the channel by clicking on the link in the description below. Your support is why we're able to keep those in power accountable to you, the voters.
DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang believes that the proposed Confidence and Supply Agreement, or CSA, between the government and the opposition could be slipping away. Lim said this followed a series of questionable decisions by Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob, with the most recent being the possible appointment of ex-Premier Najib Abdul Razak as an economic advisor. The Iskandar Puteri MP previously warned that the deal could be in jeopardy if the new Prime Minister refused to undergo a confidence vote to affirm his majority. Since then, he said, more questionable decisions have followed. Lim added that the stakes have been further raised against such a historic agreement with the unilateral announcement of ex-Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin as the National Recovery Council or NRC chairperson. Lim also expressed skepticism at Muhyiddin's announcement as the new NRC chair, noting that the measures he unveiled were no different from when he was Prime Minister. Muhyiddin presided over a tumultuous Prime Ministership tenure that saw the number of COVID-19 cases swell from 33 on his first day in office on March 1st last year to over 1.4 million when he resigned last month on August 16. Over 12,000 people have also died from COVID-19 during the period.
The government wants Ahmad Maslan to be the Deputy Speaker and Harapan is counting on Yaakob, but the decision will only be made by MPs next week.
The election for the position of Dewan Rakyat Deputy Speaker is set to take place next Tuesday. The government nominated Pontian MP Ahmad Maslan as its candidate for the position. Now Pakatan Harapan has named its own candidate, Teluk Intan MP Yaakob. When contacted, Nga confirmed that he was the sole candidate named by the opposition. He said his nomination has been submitted to Parliament according to the standing orders of Dewan Rakyat. Nga is no stranger to the position. He held it during Pakatan Harapan's time in power. He also unveiled a 10-point plan for parliamentary reforms if he was given the mandate by the MPs next week. Nga said he will advocate and work towards the 10-point plan to demonstrate the democratic spirit of Parliament if elected. He proposed for Parliament to gain financial independence, have its own parliamentary service, conduct periodic reviews of government bills, scrutinise the government's budget and address local constituency problems.
Syed Saddiq's case has been transferred to Kuala Lumpur and he is sticking with his not guilty plea.
Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman maintained his not guilty plea to 2 counts of abetting money laundering of 100,000 ringgit. The Muar MP reiterated his innocence when his plea was recorded before Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court Judge Suzana Hussain this morning. Today was fixed for mention of the 2 abetment charges before the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court following the transfer of the case from the Johor Bahru Sessions Court. On August 5th, the former Bersatu Youth Chief was hit with the 2 money laundering abatement charges. He claimed trial with the charges to be transferred to the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. According to the 2 charges framed under Section 4(1)(b) of the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001, he was accused of being involved in the transfer of the funds on 2 occasions on June 16 and 19, 2018. The prosecution had sought the transfer so that Syed Saddiq's 2 abetment charges can be heard together with the accused 2 other misappropriation charges involving 1.12 million ringgit of funds from Bersatu. The 2 misappropriation charges are before the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court.
Good Morning G-Sure is the first plant-based and complete nutrition drink made in Malaysia. It is suitable for those who are lactose intolerant. Research made by local universities found that more than 90% of our Malaysian population are lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerance can cause bloated stomach and diarrhea. Good Morning G-Sure helps to improve the immune system, reduce the risk of illnesses, and helps to improve general well-being and strengthen our bodies. A happy family starts with a healthy family. I'm still active, healthy, and going strong at the age of 52. It has to be Good Morning G-Sure.
Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and Malaysia may finally be ready to decriminalize suicide.
The Health Ministry is backing the push to decriminalize suicide in Malaysia. Health Director General Dr. Najib Abdullah said today that decriminalizing suicide acts would help shift the efforts to preventing suicide. In a statement, he said this would encourage those who are affected to come forward and get help as quickly as possible. At present, anyone who attempts to commit suicide and acts towards doing it face criminal prosecution under Section 309 of the Penal Code, where they can be punished with a jail term of up to 1 year, or they can be fined, or both. The statement came in conjunction with the World Suicide Prevention Day, which falls on September 10th every year. Najib also said, according to police statistics, there were 638 suicide cases reported in the country between January and July this year, which is a 143% increase compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin also reached out to those battling depression.
In conjunction with the World Suicide Prevention Day today, I wanted to reach out to people who are battling depression, anxiety, that you're not alone. Please don't think that even in your darkest moments that you're alone. Help is available. We're here for you. I've put here numbers that you can call, services that you can access, and I hope that you pull through this, and we are here for you.
So-called cannabis-based cookies and cakes could cost a couple their lives after they were caught by the police after a month-long operation.
A couple is now facing the death penalty for baking and selling cannabis-based cookies and cakes out of their home in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. Kuala Lumpur Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department Chief, ACP Saha Abdul Latif, said police were conducting surveillance for a month and in a September 7 raid, searched a Honda City car along Jalan Pudu in Kuala Lumpur. A 34-year-old man arrested in the raid had with him 25 jars of cannabis cookies and 53 cannabis cakes. Subsequently, police also raided the man's residence at PJ Midtown, where he lives with his 28-year-old partner. The second raid yielded 131 jars of cannabis cookies, 41 cannabis cakes, 8 cannabis doughs, 4 pots of cannabis liquid, 2 ovens, 1 mixer, and other baking equipment. The respective weights of the seized items were 156 cookie jars at 43.275 kg, 94 cakes at 9.625 kg, 7.82 kg of cannabis dough, and 31 kg of cannabis liquid. Police said the syndicate's modus operandi is to obtain cannabis and process it into cakes and biscuits, which are then sold at 100 ringgit per jar of cookies and 50 ringgit for 100 grams of cake. The man, who was remanded for 6 days, tested positive for cannabis, while the woman, who was remanded for 7 days, tested negative. The case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, and if convicted, is punishable with death by hanging. Section 39B concerns the offence of drug trafficking.
That's a wrap for KiniNews this evening. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. Don't forget you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest headlines as well. If you would like to support the independent media, do consider a subscription to Malaysiakini.com. When you're heading out, don't forget your mask, and when you can, still do try to stay home. I know some places are moving into phase 2 of PPN recently, but where we can, we still have to prevent where this virus can be transmitted. So do stay at home if you can. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.